Being Tahiti is a state in which there's effortlessness, in which there is alignment with your essence, where life is just flowing. It's not necessarily a passive state. It can be very active. But there's no psychological force needed, no manipulation, no motivation, no discipline. It is just right flow. And all the good stuff is happening over there. When we are not in that state, then we are in this state. As we call it in our analogy, Arctic. And we call this state being on it, and we call that state being off it. This is an expression that turns out to be very useful in practical daily interactions between people who are aligning and who are introduced to that concept. So when we work as a team in the back row, we are referring to each other sometimes as, I sense you on it, or did you get off it, or I got off it. So we use that language, and what we mean is shifting from this state to that state when something triggers us and we get caught by our thoughts and emotions and we're going to start being right. We got on it. And then shifting from here to there means we get off it. And what's happening is basically that when you shift from being on it and you get off it, you literally are from a fixed position. It's always a fixed position, contracted fixed position over there, like a particle. You become a wave. When a particle in physics is shifting into wave, it releases energy. The density and the contraction to remain a particle requires energy. So when you suddenly are getting off it, you are shifting into a wave energy. You are releasing the energy that was required for you to keep you stuck in your righteousness over there. And you get that energy shot. And that's very useful. You get lighter because you have more energy. And this energy now is available for creation. It's now for your use in order to help your manifestation to manifest. So it's very practical, not only for the inside, but also for the outside. So when we are on it, then most of the time, if not always, we are the last ones who get that we are on it. Everybody else gets it except us. It's like when you sleep, you are not getting that you are sleeping. You're not aware that you're sleeping. You only are aware that you slept once you awoke. So after you got off it, then you know that you have been on it. For that, it's good to have what we call red flags. Red flags are conditions that by their presence indicate that we are probably on it, although we don't admit it. You know, when in daily interactions, I think you're on it. I'm not on it. You're on it. Yeah? So we immediately go into survival, psychological survival. We're not on it, etc. And often it's true that only after we got off it, now we realize that we have been on it. Therefore, it's good to have red flags so that you can, while you are sleeping, while you're on it, while you're not believing that you're on it, you still, in the red flags, can really assume that's probably true that you're on it, and then you can take action. So in your workbook on page 95, you see that we have a section in the middle dealing with red flags. So here are a couple of suggestions, but then in a moment I will ask you to identify 3 really typical red flags that you would choose now to be aware of when your radar picks it up, that you consider that you're on it so that you can take action to get off it. But first let's hear the common ones. Unhappiness. Yeah? It's unlikely that you are unhappy and off it. So consider when you're unhappy that you are in some form on it. Life works against you. So unfortunate coincidences, bad luck, breakdowns, headwind, life works against you. Of course, there can be challenges, there can be reactions, etc. So it's not like black, white, 100%, but it's a good red flag to consider at least. If you have a powerful coach or if you have a friend amongst a peer who is good in the work, etc., you can engage with each other and say, hey, can you be a mirror for me to pick up anything I'm possibly on it about, in order just to double check, but you wouldn't consider that if you would not consider to be on it. So a red flag is always a good thing. Being resigned or in complaint. Definitely complaint, frustration, aggression, resignation, all that is being on it. Doing or giving anything less than 100%, so not being in totality, yeah, saving it, being on the break for whatever reasons, not really giving everything you have, that means withholding, contraction, particle, on it. Not feeling yourself, not happy to be you. If you're not happy to be you, you're over there. Being in your head, more and more and more in the mind. Having no breakthroughs. So you're stuck, life's not moving, no breakthroughs, monotony, routine. Being demotivated, bored, not inspired, not moved, not touched. Yeah, kind of the zombie, numb state, waiting for the weekend to come. On it, definitely. Feeling miserable, being tense. Yep. So now I ask you to choose 3 typical conditions that are red flags for you. So when you're on it, what is a typical emotion you're in, a typical behavior of the 3-dimensional reality of your life? What's happening? And then choose it and write it down under number 2. Remember, when you're on it, you are the one who is not aware of that you're on it. Otherwise, you probably would then engage in getting off it. How that works in a moment. But first now choose your 3 red flags, and please choose them with us. Some of you would like to invite standing up and choosing your red flags so that we share a little bit the energy. Thank you. Complaining. Perfect, thank you. Yes, you.
Being able to make decisions.
Indecisiveness. Thank you. Susan?
Being judgmental.
Yes, definitely. Judgmental.
Being self-critical.
Okay, great. Self-criticism.
I live in my head.
You in your head. Thank you.
Defensive.
Defensive. Okay.
Being ashamed.
Being?
Ashamed.
Ashamed. Yes. Good. So you got it. Just make sure you got 3 of them selected for yourself. So the benefits of getting off it, that means when you are on it, which happens often, and you get off it, you can expect an immediate unstuckness, and therefore energy flow is just shared. You move from particle into wave, energy release. Removal of separation caused by being on it. Over there, you are always in separation. Yeah? You have your point of view, you're unhappy with something, it's your perspective, you're stuck, you sit, all that separation. When you get off it, there's aliveness, inspiration returns, and creation is possible again. So, what does it cost you when you are on it? What does it cost you?
Energy.
Energy, number one. What else? Peace of mind. Yes?
Focus.
Focus. Good.
Opportunities.
Absolutely. Opportunities.
Love.
Love.
Being in flow.
Okay. Yes. So you got it. Cool. So now it's all about how to get off it. Now it's about how do you shift from Arctic to Tahiti. We simply call it how to get off it. And for this, I give you a demonstration. If I take this as an analogy of being on it, yeah? On it. Then getting off it would mean what? Exactly, yeah? That would be getting off it. Now, what is it? What is it that I need to do in order to open my hand? Make a decision. Exactly. That's the number one. To be willing to make the decision to get off it. Because when you're on it and you're not making the decision to get off it, nothing's going to happen. Because you are the one who is creating this reality. So when you're there, the decision. What else after the decision? Action. Yes? Action. So, if I say, I would like to get off it, but I can't. Yeah? I can't because I'm so hurt. This is so unfair. It's impossible. I don't feel I can let go. I don't feel I can forgive. I don't feel I can just move on with things. Yeah? So please do remember, we practice it in a moment, that the truth is decision, action. The rest is all psychology. And if I imagine the worst feelings in my life, and I put them all in there, and negative thoughts, and it's impossible, it's not possible, it's bad. If I put all the thoughts and emotions possible there, it's still the truth that if I make the decision and followed by action, it happens. And in the practice, you'll see it in a moment. So that's how you get off it. The prerequisite for getting off it is the willingness to give up being right. The willingness to give up being right. When you're on it, you may be not conscious of it. The moment you become conscious of it and you're not choosing to get off it, you are in a being right condition. Then you dominate your environment, your workplace, your partner, your children, your friends, the government, or whoever is in reach. You dominate them with your righteousness. Maybe you have been hurt by them, and now you get even. Yeah? You had pain, now they shall have pain. An eye for an eye. Yeah? And the ego plays like that. So if you're not willing to give up being right, then you can't get off it. Then you remain here, your ego is satisfied, because now the others will feel what it felt when they hurt you. Yeah, and the ego is operating like that. And during all that time, you create a lot of stress, a lot of particle, a lot of stuff for yourself and others. And the opportunity of getting off it and shifting into Tahiti is lost for that moment. Also, getting off it doesn't mean that the problem is solved. It simply means you are transforming yourself from being part of the problem to now being part of the solution. Once you're off it, you're psychologically not in the way any longer for the shift to happen. So yes, a situation might get you triggered, and you're on it at the workplace with the behavior of your colleagues, or with the result of the week, or with not emails being received, or no integrity at the workplace, or whatever may get you on it. But if you really care making a difference at the workplace, you first would need to get off it, because if you operate from that state, you are causing resistance by your very frequency, by your very vibration, by who you are. When you come on it into a space, people contract, they go into resistance. They may even don't know what's going on, but it's just something that happens. And therefore, we are always part of the problem as long as we are on it. When we are shifting ourselves into an off-it position, we still need to solve the problem, but then we come from solution. There intelligence happens. There we are connected again. From there we can access what we are not aware of that we are not aware of, and so on and so forth. Do you get that? Yeah? Okay. The first thing is to know that there is something like being on it, and second is that when you got off it, you cannot expect that miraculously, sometimes it happens, but not always, that miraculously the problem isn't there anymore. However, who you are is sufficient now to deal with the problem. Here, you are insufficient because you are being right. And this is a very insufficient position in order to deal with anything. Why? Because being right causes resistance, and you need others and all the rest of it. I think you get it. Yes?
Where's the difference between letting go and giving in?
Giving in has a taste of sacrifice, doesn't it?
Yes.
Sacrifice is a no-no for a conscious way of living. We do not promote sacrifice or want sacrifice. It's a low frequency energy. Letting go is not sacrifice, it's surrender. It is a conscious act of trust, a higher energy, a higher frequency, the collective of consciousness, what we're not aware of that we're not aware of. We're trusting life. We're not sacrificing. One can learn the difference very clearly when we operate with those tools. Some tools are just to be experienced. When we work with them, they start making really sense. It cannot be all processed in the head. Who would like to get off something? Who is on it with something in your life and would like to get off it? Elizabeth, excellent. Come up front. I give you the stage.
Oh.
Yes.
Oh. For contraction.
That's just nervousness, isn't it? Yeah? Are you nervous?
Yes, I am.
That's okay.
But that's okay.
I also would be nervous if I'm up here. So, just to verification that everything is in place. So yes. Getting off it means make a decision to let the pen fall and then do the action. Just do it one time.
Drop.
Drop. Okay. So it works. Yes. Good. Now, connect, please. Yes. Thank you. Connect with what you are on it about.
Okay.
You even can tell us if you want to, but you don't have to. It's your choice.
Okay. I choose not to.
Okay. So now first check, are you going to make a decision to get off it?
Yes.
Okay. Is there something you are right about, what you need to be willing to give up?
Yes.
Okay. Are you willing to give up being right about that?
Yes.
Okay, great. So with all of that, then you can demonstrate your decision by the action of getting off it.
It's very hard.
It may be, yes. It may be. Thank you. So, stay there. Now what happened is you didn't say they are right or he's right or whatever is there. You didn't say that, and you don't have to. You are just removing yourself as a energy of contraction so that something now in that situation can move, can shift.
Yes.
Yeah? So that's important to acknowledge. Yeah? And don't do anything now, don't make any further decisions or a plan, just use the space of being off it and see what happens. Yeah? Thank you for playing. Thank you. Who else would like to get off it? Thank you. Let's do the mechanical check. Yeah. Decision to let go and action. Bravo. Again? Okay. So now connect with what you are being honored about. Choose to share or not.
I want to share.
Please. What are you honored about?
I'm on a really difficult communication with my mother.
Mm-hmm. So you're honored with your mother.
Yes.
All right.
I get, right now, I get
That's
just for sharing it.
our parents are one of the most important things we need to transform in our lives, but I'm not going to get into this one now. Your mother, you're honored with your mother in a particular area or in general, it doesn't matter now, you said communication. No? Just check, is there anything you are being right about here? Irrespective whether you are actually right or not, but are you having a point here that your mother should or shouldn't?
I don't think so.
So you're not right there? Then why are you on it? Explain it to me.
She can trigger me about if I can hear her coming.
Yes? You get on it.
Yes.
Okay.
She triggers me for no reason. And
It looks
I
like it.
know that I'm the reason.
It looks like no reason. Yeah? It may look like no reason, but every trigger has a cause. There's no trigger for no reason, but it might not be fully conscious to you.
Yes.
Okay?
Yes.
Okay. I wonder if we can achieve something here without particular steps into awareness what exactly it is that triggers you and all the rest of it. Let's try it. Yeah, you can feel it by your energy. Do this one? Okay. First step is exactly. Check if you are willing to make the decision to get off it.
So now I decide to not let me trigger.
No, you decide. See, it's difficult without dropping to give up being right. Yeah, let's try it anyway.
Okay.
The decision to
Perhaps I'm not very honest. I think she may do whatever she wants to do for me, my decision. But I think, I feel, I sense that I need to be at the same spot in her eyes, so that I can do whatever I want to do. And that's where the problem is.
Do you feel that she has expectations?
Yes, and she's really a great woman. I really don't want to diminish her, but she can really manipulate. And that I don't like, and that's the trigger that she.
So you are right that she manipulates.
Yes.
Now we can work.
Okay.
So, are you willing to give up being right that she manipulates you?
Yes.
Okay. When that is true and real for you, then drop the pen as a sign that you choose to give up being right, that she manipulates you, and that you choose to get off it. Thank you. How does that feel?
Good.
Okay.
And I had a first yes or aha moment. The thing about the manipulation.
Oh yeah.
I really, last week in my shower, I was thinking about the whole situation, and I had in my shower a moment of, she's manipulating me. So now, when you ask me, are you right about, no, because I don't think she knows that she, difficult to define now.
See, after you give up being right about something, there might be just an empty space. You remove something and there might be just an empty space of not knowing. And that's a great, powerful position. You don't know whether your mother maybe is manipulating or not, but you give up that perspective. Have you heard of self-fulfilling prophecy, that
Yes.
term? Yeah. No? If you come into to your mother with a perspective, she's manipulating me, then guess what you are provoking? You're provoking a self-fulfilling prophecy that she actually goes into those actions. And maybe by herself, she does it. However, then we need to take a look. What exactly happens? That we can do at another time.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
There was a time when I had a similar thing going on with my mother. Every time I left home, she started at the last thing before I went out the door, come up to me and made sure everything is closed up here so that I don't catch a cold. That was okay when I was 7 or 8 years old. It was not okay anymore when I was 14 or 15. Yeah? Because she should know I'm an adult now. But she did it again, and it got me on it big time. She doesn't realize that I'm an adult, and so on and so forth. There was a time when I needed to shift that, and I wanted to shift that. I had to give up that I'm right, that she is not accepting to let go of son and accepting me as adult. I had to be willing to give up my righteousness about that. When I did that, the next time she came and did that, I was free to look at her, to grant her the presence of expressing her love in this particular way to me. Who am I to reject it? And she did it, and I could totally enjoy it. Yeah? I still felt claustrophobic, but that's not the point anymore. I got off it. So I gave her the gift of being present to her gift to me, showing her love in that way. And the moment I was in my car, I opened it all again. Right? Because that's how I feel more in my energy when I don't have something here. But I transformed in this little incident a big part of the relationship to my mother. That was just one point of it. And that is the power of getting off it. It allows you to shift perspective. It allows you to transform energy where it's stuck, where you contract into becoming expansive, and it gives others back their freedom. What do we know what the real motives of others are and their actions? Are we really sure that we can say we know it. Can we really judge here? Most of the time it's not true. Yeah? So, I give you now a collective opportunity to get off it. Yeah? A collective opportunity. And we do it sequentially. The first sequence is with mom and dad. Guess what? So, we do it the following way. If you are on it with either mom or dad or both, then you stand up in your chair. If you are willing to get off it, then you will sit down. But I guide you through the process. So first step is, if you're on it with your mom or your dad and you're willing to get off it, please stand up. If you're not willing to get off it, then don't bother for now. So thank you for everybody who is standing. And as a symbol, also because it's fun, you can reach out with an invisible pen or you can take a real one. It doesn't matter. Whatever is working for you. It's a symbolism here. Please do connect now fully with what you are on it about. In other words, connect with the memory, the issue. Maybe you do feel, maybe not. It's not so important. Just be present to what it is. Then, verify the decision for you, that you are willing to get off it. If yes, then keep standing. Number 2 is identify any being right that might hang there. Anything you're right about. Check whether you're willing to give up being right. It may or may not be so, but you stop being right about it. If that's positive, then you can verify your sincerity and your decision with the action of letting go of the pen or just opening your hand. When you have done that, feel what you feel and then sit down. In the case you decided to get off it, but then something comes in the way and you feel you can't, in that case you would keep standing, of course, and I would help you. All right? But you all did it. Congratulations. Remember, it's not like that the problem has disappeared. It's you stopped to be part of the problem. Now you can be part of a solution. And you don't need to know the solution right now. You are open now. Something else can happen. Yeah? Be happy just for that. So now is a chance for everybody who is on it with your current partner or an ex, and you wish to get off it. That's your moment. Please stand up. Current partner or ex. You know what ex is? The one you dumped or dumped you? That one. Or the one before? One of them, not all of them. We take one at a time. Exactly, one at a time. The greater the pain was, the more difficult it is. So the courage of those of you who are standing, and also the courage of those of you who are sitting and looking at the stuff and not yet finding the power to go there where you can forgive them or get off it. It's all right. Don't make yourself wrong. For those of you who are standing, stretch out your arm. Connect with what it is you are on it about. Current partner or ex. One at a time. Identify what being right is part of this. What is it you are being right about? When you are checking with yourself now whether you're willing to give up being right about, for the sake of transforming yourself from part of the problem to part of the solution, and you choose to get off it therefore, then you can demonstrate it by letting go of your hand, of the pen, or opening your hand. Then just feel the energy. And when it's through, please sit down. Can you see that there's a being right? And it might all be justified. But you're stuck. The situation cannot move. So the first step is that you become part of the solution. Yeah, there still might be a lot to do too, but that's the first step. Remember, decision, action. And now you just need to accept it. Can you accept the result? Read. Are you willing to accept it?
Yes.
Okay. All right. And there may be much more that needs healing, that needs shifting, but now it can happen. Now you removed the stuckness, and now it can become a movement of healing. And for that, I wish you all the best.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. Last opportunity for everyone who is on it with a company, an organization, or the government, or any particular politician. Company, organization, government, or any particular politician, if you wish to get off it because you understood what this is about, that as long as you're part of the problem, you're sourcing the condition to maintain. So if you understood that and you wish to get off it, not because it's the right thing to do, not because you should, but because you understand that, please, can we focus? If you understand that principle and you want to give a gift to the world, that you stop being a particle but become a wave again, then this is the moment. Do I see any more stand-ups? Okay. Well, thank you for your choice to give up being right about the Trumps in this world and the Monsanto companies in this world and the whole list. It's a long list. Long list. But just choose one, okay? Otherwise it's going to be blurry and that's not powerful. Just choose one of your list.
Can I ask a question?
Yes.
Well, if I get off this, then there is a disadvantage for me. So
What is the disadvantage?
there could be a financial disadvantage for me.
Oh,
So
yeah, you need to make a decision in your life. What's more important?
yeah, I know.
Your mental health or a better paycheck? Yeah? All right. Here we go. Connect fully with the matter. Identify any being right hanging around here. And again, you may be right from your perspective, and I'm sure you are. But still, the effect of being right is that you are positioning yourself and you're only causing resistance, called a shadow, to the outside world. So this resistance will stop when you stop. And then you can become a part of the solution. Check if you are willing to give up being right. And when both is positive, then you can demonstrate it by opening your hand, letting the pen fall, and then feel your energy. And when it's complete, sit down. You may have realized that getting off it is an act of love. It's actually a fundamental act of love. Because who, in their right mind, so to speak, using the old language, who would do that? It's an act of love, because everything what you do where you remove a separation is a step into unification. So I acknowledge you deeply for the acts of love that you have just committed in the last 30 minutes. This is the energy that will shift the world ultimately. And there are deeper levels and there are wider levels which we are going to travel into, of course. You know? But that is your power. The power of love. And getting off it is the very first step. There are deeper levels like true forgiving, what we do in Master 2, shadow work, what we do in the retreats, etc. These are all acts of removing separation, of becoming one again. And when you are one, the world will be one. It is a spiritual law. You'll see as we go along.